The man who vanished after hijacking a plane. It's the afternoon before Thanksgiving, November 24, 1971. You walk into an airport with a briefcase and a quiet plan. The airport in Portland is crowded but calm. Families travel home. Businessmen check their watches. Flight attendants move between gates with practiced smiles. You walk through the terminal carrying a black briefcase. No one notices you. You're wearing a dark suit, a white shirt, a thin black tie, the kind of clothes that blend into any airport in America. Nothing flashy, nothing memorable. Exactly how you planned it. You approach the counter and buy a one-way ticket to Seattle. The flight is short, barely 30 minutes in the air. The woman behind the counter asks for your name. You answer without hesitation. Dan Cooper. She prints the ticket. You take it, thank her politely, and walk toward the gate. Your heartbeat stays steady. Everything from this point forward depends on staying calm, because inside the briefcase resting in your hand is the thing that will change everything. You board the aircraft like every other passenger. The plane is a Boeing 727, a narrow jet with engines mounted at the back, a normal domestic flight, nothing unusual. You choose a seat near the rear, row 18. A flight attendant walks down the aisle collecting coats and answering questions. Her name tag reads Florence. You watch the passengers around you. A man flipping through a magazine. A couple arguing quietly about luggage. None of them know what is about to happen, and soon, none of them will ever forget it. The plane begins to taxi. Engines rumble. The runway stretches ahead like a long gray ribbon disappearing into the distance. Within minutes, you're airborne. The city shrinks beneath the clouds. The flight attendant moves down the aisle offering drinks. When she reaches your seat, you ask for bourbon and soda. She nods and returns a moment later with the glass. You take a slow sip. Then you reach into your pocket and remove a folded piece of paper. You hand it to her casually. At first, she assumes it's a phone number. That happens sometimes on flights. She slips it into her pocket without looking. You lean slightly closer. "Miss," you say quietly, "you should read that note." Her smile fades. She opens the paper. Her eyes move across the words. Then she looks up at you again, and suddenly she understands. "I have a bomb." The message is short, direct, no drama. You motion for her to sit beside you. She hesitates, then she does. You open the briefcase just enough for her to see inside. Red wires, metal cylinders, a battery. She doesn't know if it's real, but she knows she can't risk finding out. Your voice stays calm. You explain exactly what you want. $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel trick waiting in Seattle. No tricks, no sudden moves. If anyone interferes, the bomb detonates. She nods slowly. Then she walks toward the cockpit. The captain hears the message and feels the weight of it immediately. Hijacking is rare, but not unheard of in the early 1970s. Still, this one feels different. The FBI is contacted. Air traffic control is notified. The aircraft continues toward Seattle. Inside the cabin, most passengers remain unaware. You sit quietly in your seat. Another bourbon arrives. You drink it slowly. Outside the window, clouds drift past like silent witnesses. When the plane lands in Seattle, the airport is surrounded. Police vehicles, FBI agents, airport security. None of them can rush the aircraft. Too many lives inside. The airline begins gathering the ransom money. Banks rush to assemble the cash. $20 bills, 10,000 of them. Meanwhile, the passengers wait, confused, restless. Some think there's a mechanical issue. Others assume the delay is normal. Eventually, the announcement comes. The passengers will be allowed to leave the aircraft. One by one, they step onto the runway buses. None of them realize they just shared a flight with a hijacker. Inside the aircraft, the atmosphere changes. The cabin feels larger now, quieter. Only the crew remains. You watch through the window as the ransom money arrives. A courier carries the bag toward the plane. You feel something shift inside your chest. This is the moment. The plan is working. The flight attendant returns with the parachutes, 4 of them, exactly as requested.
You examine them carefully. No tampering, no tricks. Good. The money is brought on board, a canvas bag heavy with cash, $200,000. In 1971, that's a fortune. You place it beside the briefcase. Then you give the next instruction. Refuel the plane. You're leaving again. The pilots receive the new flight plan. Destination, Mexico City. But you have conditions. The plane must fly low, below 10,000 feet, landing gear partially deployed, flaps set for slow flight. These instructions confuse the crew, but they follow them. They don't need to know your real plan, and they don't need to. Night falls as the aircraft leaves Seattle. Rain begins to hit the windows. The Pacific Northwest below is dark forest and mountains, miles of wilderness, exactly what you wanted. You tell the crew to remain in the cockpit. The cabin is yours now. You tie the bag of money to your body with parachute cord. The cash feels heavy against your back. You take one of the parachutes. The rear of the Boeing 727 has something unique, a staircase built into the tail. Normally it's used on the ground, but it can be lowered during flight. You walk to the back of the plane. Wind roars against the fuselage. The aircraft vibrates in the storm. You pull the lever. Slowly, the rear stairs begin to lower into the night sky. Cold air floods the cabin. Rain lashes against the metal steps. The pilots feel the shift in the aircraft's balance. They know what you're doing, but they can't stop it. The plane continues forward through the storm. 30 minutes ago, it was full of passengers. Now it's silent. A strange calm settles over you. Everything that led to this moment now comes down to one decision.
For a moment, time feels frozen. Then you jump and vanish into the night. The Boeing 727 lands safely later that evening. The crew immediately tells authorities what happened. FBI agents search the aircraft. They find the black clip-on tie you left behind, several parachutes. But you're gone. Completely gone. Search teams comb the forests of Washington state. Helicopters sweep across mountains. Divers check rivers. Nothing. No parachute, no body, no sign of the money. Weeks pass, then months. The investigation grows into one of the largest manhunts in FBI history. But the man known as D.B. Cooper has disappeared. Years later, a small clue appears. In 1980, a young boy digging in the sand near the Columbia River discovers several bundles of decaying cash. The serial numbers match the ransom money, but the rest of it is still missing. And the man who jumped from the plane is never found. Did you survive the fall? Did you land somewhere deep in the forests of the Pacific Northwest and walk away with the money? Or did the storm swallow you the moment you left the aircraft? The truth remains unknown, but the legend of D.B. Cooper refuses to disappear. Because somewhere between the clouds and the forest below, a man jumped into the night, and history never saw him again. Subscribe for more cinematic POV stories about real criminals, secret operations, and dangerous lives that changed history.